Hi folks, and welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and thumbs up, it's very important for me. I'm the tech thinker, and today we will see how we can use texts and names and sentences in variables. We use the class string, so it's pretty much the same as the other variables that we use. So for string, and then first name, and then equal to, in this case we use quotation mark John. Okay, so we store this value in this variable. Don't forget, we always store in Java from the right side to the left side. You can see here that there is some difference, for example, in core between data types, here orange, and string in blue, and also string is in uppercase. Well, this is because string is actually a class. You can also read here variables. This is where we are coding. It's also a class, public class. Okay. What does it mean? Well, it means that we are using classes that were already written by the people who wrote the Java programming language. Okay, so it means that sometimes, in most of cases, we don't have to implement everything new from scratch. We can just use packages, libraries that already was written from developers, so that we can just focus on the tasks and functionalities that we really need. And this is pretty much the same with string. Of course, strings in every programming in every program you use names, you use sentences, and so on, and that's why string it's come together with the functionality strings come together. I will not explain now what really classes are and so on. I know that's not very clear. You just keep in mind that I have to keep in mind that in classes we write functions, we use in classes also data types, and data types are the smallest data that we can store on our hard drive. And string, it's a concatenation of char, which means it's a concatenation of data types, of a couple of data types, in this case of 4 data types of type char. Okay, we can use another variable, let's say last name equal to Jones. Okay, and we can save it. If we want to print the value of variables, or at least to see which the value of the variables, we can just print the values here. I already did the test here. Okay, so we can do that by typing system.out.println, and then give the variable name, in this case first name. We save it, and we can run it here, or play, so run, it's actually the right way to say it, and we have John, which is right. We can of course add to this variable another variable because we want to print it, and this is first, in this case, last name. We run it again, and we also have here the result. You can see here we have a problem because we don't have a blank space. Plus only adds or takes together two different or more different variables. If we want to add here some blank space, we have to add it and to treat this like a normal string, a string without characters. This is also a string, but without letters. Okay, so if we run it, we have now the right way to show it. Of course, we can also add something more. For example, let's say that we want just to ask the question, what is your name? What is your name? Question mark, and also in this case plus. And this is also treat like a variable, also in this case. If we run it, we have here what is your name, John Jones, which is right. You can, of course, string question, declare this variable equal to what is your name, question mark. Okay, and then we just write here question, and of course a blank space. We can save it and we can run it, and this is the same. Okay, I want to show you something new. You can see here we said string is a class, variables is also a class. We are writing our code in this field, and this field is actually a method. The name of this method is main. So classes have methods, and methods are just functions. We use functions because we want to achieve some tasks, to have some results. We said that string was already written. You can, by the way, you can also read here Java lang string. The string class represent character strings. So this is an explanation of what actually string is, and this is in this package. I will explain that in further videos, so to understand very quickly what is the different and what are actually classes. I know that it's not that clear now, but it's okay. So in classes there are methods, and we can use these methods. We said string a string class was already written by the developer of Java. It means that even the methods in there was already written. Let's just take a look at it. So we take the variable name of the string variable first name, okay, and we tap a dot. Okay, if we tap a dot, we have a lot of methods. There are methods like main here, like the same. These are the all methods for the class string. And like I said, first name, it's a string. Okay, and that's why we can use it. We can use these methods. The name of the methods are, for example, in this case, the name is char at. This method char at takes a data type int here. Okay, the name, it's in this case index. This is not very important, which is the name. It returns, so the method returns a char. Okay, you can see also here this is a method, and this method take string plus something, but even this method takes something. This takes an integer. Okay, and you can also see here returns the char value at the specified index. What does it mean? Sometimes you can always read here the explanation of the method. Sometimes we understand, sometimes not. You just have to have a little bit of experience, and then we understand almost everything here. Well, what does it mean? Well, like I said that strings are concatenation of chars, which it means that first name has 1, 2, 3, and 4 chars in it. So if we use the method char at, and then we give an integer of what? What should that represent? Well, it should represent the index of the char that we want to have. Let's say we give here 0. It means that I want the char at the position 0, at the index 0. Don't forget, in programming language, in computer science, we start to count by 0 and not by 1. It means that this j here is the index on the index 0, 1, 2, and 3. So there are 4 letters here, 4 chars here, but we start from 0. So if I want to print this system out print line, I save it, and I can run it, and I have DJ. It means I want the char at the position 0, and the char in the position 0 in this variable is j, which is right. Okay, let's do some of tests. For example, the same, we do the same, but char at, and we give the value, 3. Okay, we run it, and we have n. Why? 0, 1, 2, 3. This is right. Okay, but let's say we want to rewrite, for example, here 4. Okay, if we do that, we have an error. The name of the error is string index out of bounds exception. Exception are errors. Okay, and it is important, this one here, string index out of range 4. Well, why? We said there are 4 letters. Well, there are 4 letters, it is right, but we are asking here for the index 4. But there is no index 4 here because we started by 0. So 0, 1, 2, and 3. We are asking something that we don't have in this value, in the value of this variable, and that's why we get an error. Okay, let's just comment it so that we don't get the error anymore, and we can start it, and then we don't have an error anymore. Okay, let's use more methods. For example, let's use I want to again to print the results so that we can see what we do. Dot, and then let's just use concat, for example. That's a good one. Concat take a string and returns a string. Concatenate the specified string to the end of this string. Let's do it. Let's try it. So concat. Okay, and what? Well, let's say we keep it simple, last name. We can run it, and we have here John Jones. Okay, so we concatenate the first variable with the second one. Pretty simple, yeah? Let's do something more. Let's, for example, use first name, and then we can use contains. So contains takes a char sequence, the name of this char sequence it says, and we get back a boolean value. Returns true if and only if this string contains the specified sequence of char values. Let's do that. So contains, and we say this. Okay, we run it, and we get true. Why? Because first name has J and O. This is true. If we try, for example, to give other letters, other sequences, then we have maybe other results. For example, let's say NT. I don't know. That's just this is a first name. It's just an example. We run it, and we get false. Why? Because we don't have NT in this name. Well, we have the N. It's right, but we are looking for the sequence, and we don't have this sequence here. Okay, so let's, for example, do something with other methods. For example, let's content. We have, for example, here ends with. It means take a string suffix, returns boolean, so right or false. Let's use this one. Equals returns the char value at the specified index. Sorry, this is this one. It was false. Compares the string to the specified object. I will not explain now what is an object, but I want to show you that if you want to compare strings and to know if they are the same, if the value is the same, you have to use this method. Equals, and what we want to give, the variable, for example, last name. Okay, We run it, and we have a false. Why? Well, because the value of first name, which is John, it's not the same, equal to the value of the second variable, last name, which is Jones. Okay, but we can also do something like this. First name equals, and then say here John. We can run it. Oh, we have an error. I don't know where. Ah, yeah, I forget the quotation mark. And we have a true. Why? Because the value of this variable, so John, it's equal to John. Okay. So let's do something more. I want to show you at least one method more, and this method is you can see here it's blank, it's empty. It just checks if we get a boolean back, returns if the variable it's empty or not. But I want to do that now. Length. This is also a method, a very useful method. It doesn't take a variable, but it returns an int, an integer data type. You can probably imagine what we have here. We have the length of this variable. The length is 4. We set from 0 to 3 indexes, which are 4 indices, and we have 4 letters, and this is 4, which is right. Okay, so these are the basics of string. Of course, you can just there are more methods that you can learn, but these are the basic one that you will probably use in this course. Okay, so thank you very much, and see you in the next video.